Ghouls N Ghosts, known as Dai Makimura in Japan, is a side-scrolling platform game developed by Capcom, released as an arcade game in 1988 and subsequently ported to a number of home platforms. It is the sequel to Ghosts N Goblins and the second game in the Ghosts N Goblins series. Galaga is a 1981 fixed-shooter arcade video game developed and published by Namco. In North America, it was released by Midway Manufacturing. It is the sequel to Galaxian, Namco's first major video game hit in arcades. Joust is an action game developed by Williams Electronics and released in arcades in 1982. While not the first two-player cooperative video game, Joust's success and polished implementation popularized the concept. The game was well received by players and critics, and the mechanics influenced other games. Raiden is a 1990 vertically scrolling shooter arcade video game developed by Seibu Kaihatsu and published by Tecmo in Japan. The title became a critical success, with its most lauded features being the graphics, music, gameplay and cooperative play. "1942" is a vertically scrolling shooter game made by Capcom that was released for arcades in 1984. It went on to be a commercial success, becoming Japan's fifth highest-grossing table arcade game of 1986 and one of top 5 highest-grossing arcade conversion kits that year in the United States. RoboCop is a beat-em-up, run-and-gun video game developed and published by Data East for arcades in 1988, based on the 1987 film of the same name. The arcade game reached number 2 on Japan's monthly arcade charts and it became one of the best-selling home computer games of the 1980s. Slap Fight is a 1986 vertically scrolling shooter arcade video game developed by Toaplan and published by Taito. Some of the ideas implemented in Slap Fight would later go on to influence development of Truxton. Grindstormer 1993 uses a weapon power-up system reminiscent of Slap Fight. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a 1989 beat-em-up arcade game released by Konami. The arcade game featured 4-player mode and was a worldwide hit, becoming the highest-grossing dedicated arcade game of 1990 in the United States and Konami's highest-grossing arcade game. Track and Field, also known as Hyper Olympic in Japan and Europe, is a 1983 Olympic-themed sports video game developed by Konami. Players compete in a series of events, most involving alternately pressing 2 buttons as quickly as possible to make the on-screen character run faster. Double Dragon is a beat-em-up video game series initially developed by Technos Japan and released as an arcade game in 1987. It ushered in a «golden age» for the beat-em-up genre that took it to new heights with its detailed set of martial arts attacks and its 2-player cooperative gameplay. Defender is a horizontally scrolling shooter video game developed by Williams Electronics in 1980 and released for arcades in 1981. It was one of the most important titles of the golden age of arcade video games, selling over 55,000 units to become the company's best-selling game and one of the highest-grossing arcade games ever. NBA Jam is a basketball video game developed and published by Midway for arcades in 1993. The gameplay of NBA Jam is based on Arch Rivals, which was also a 2-on-2 basketball game. However, it was the release of NBA Jam that brought mainstream success to the genre. Street Fighter II is a 2D fighting game developed by Capcom and originally released for arcades in 1991. The use of special command-based moves, a combo system, a 6-button configuration, and a wider selection of playable characters made it hugely popular, grossing an estimated $10 billion. The Simpsons is an arcade beat-em-up developed and published by Konami, released in 1991. The game allows up to 4 players to control members of the Simpson family as they fight various enemies to rescue the kidnapped Maggie. Frogger is a 1981 arcade action game developed by Konami and manufactured by Sega. The object of the game is to direct a series of frogs to their homes by crossing a busy road and a hazardous river. Frogger was positively received as one of the greatest video games ever made and followed by several clones and sequels. Donkey Kong is a 1981 arcade video game developed and published by Nintendo. It introduced 3 important names to the global video game industry: Nintendo, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Mario. These 3 figures went on to play a significant role in video game history. Dig Dug is a maze arcade video game developed by Namco in 1981. The player controls Dig Dug to defeat all enemies per stage, by either inflating them to bursting or crushing them underneath rocks. It was well received by critics for its addictive gameplay, cute characters, and strategy. Pac-Man, originally called Puck-Man in Japan, is a 1980 maze action video game developed and released by Namco for arcades. The game remains one of the highest-grossing and best-selling games, generating more than $14 billion in revenue, and has an enduring commercial and cultural legacy.